amazing though that the reviewers also this is the greatest tasting pre-workout ever, and
this isn't live, right? I'm gonna check my DMs to see if I'm getting any shit about this already.
Dog shit, you know. Like how can you see? And this goes back to the reviewer thing, you know, that we were talking about earlier. These fucking like people do not understand. I mean, you have reviewers like TJ, Eddie, you know, when they do a review on something, we won't get into their whole business model, but we don't pay them up front to say shit about us. I'll put it to you that way. We send a product, you know, and like there's companies, they won't send shit to Justin because Justin's going to put them on blast because their products suck, you know, but we don't pay these people to say nice things about us. Then you have other fitness informants out there that, you know, they turn around and they say,
"Oh, Nick,
greatest fucking product in the world. This is the greatest fucking thing in the world." Bro, you know how much fucking money they got paid to say that shit? It's, you know, you can't. It drives me nuts all these honest, unbiased fucking opinions with a fucking $20,000 a month check. Well, how are you fucking honest and unbiased with the amount of fucking checks you get on a monthly basis from these companies? Blows my fucking mind. Grinds my gears, as white people in America would say.
And Canada.
Grinds my fucking gears. Drives me insane. These fucking people, they, you know, oh, flavor this, flavor that. Oh, we got the flavor of the week test. Really? How much money do they pay you to taste the fucking flavors? This is absurd.
Well, and that's kind of like that's exactly what I mean. Like let's talk about Ghost, for example. You know, I think Ghost is pretty solid. Like, but when you get people, like they say, oh, Ghost has a new pre-workout and it has this flavor, whatever it is, or Welch's or something like that, and that's cool, right? But if someone goes, I'm going to take that pre-workout because it's Welch's flavored or whatever, that's the wrong reason to take a pre-workout.
Wrong reason to be taking a product.
Oh, and that's where it gets weird for me, where I'm like, okay, let's understand the ingredients fit this, and then if we want to talk about flavor, say if you come to, okay, I have 3 different options of this pre-workout mix that I want for my life. This one tastes like Sour Patch Kids. This one tastes like shit. Well, I'll take the Sour Patch Kids one. Like, fuck it, if that's what your options come down to. But at least understand why you're taking it other than, well, it tastes good. And then it's like that funny like meme where it shows like like you drink pre-workout and then magic happens in your body. It's not fucking magic. It's not fucking magic. It's fucking science. It's fucking biochemistry. So if you don't want to take the time to understand that, then you shouldn't be taking it based on flavor. It's like, and we don't even have to get complex about it. You can easily download the Supplement Snoop app and it'll teach you everything you need to know. But you can easily learn about the ingredients because, you know, we can help out. So there's no excuse not to know this stuff anymore. There's no excuse.
Very true.
Well, not only that. I mean, think about it. Orange juice. Like let's take orange juice for example. If I give you 2 glasses of orange juice, one is going to be freshly squeezed orange juice, and the other one is going to be concentrate shit. I assure you, majority of people, when it comes to taste, they're going to pick concentrate. Why? Because it's made to taste good. It's actually, you know, not formulated, but the ingredients that are put in it, they actually made it to taste good. The freshly squeezed one, there is nothing in it, just orange. That's it. So if it's slightly bitter or slightly sour or something like that, that's just orange. That's just the way it tastes. What are the benefits? Well, the benefits are obviously in a freshly squeezed one. It's also more expensive, and it doesn't taste as sweet and doesn't taste as pleasant as the concentrate one. You know, so you're getting more benefits from something that tastes kind of bitter rather than something that costs nothing to make. I mean, how many oranges does it take to make a glass of orange juice? It's a lot. This is just fucking chemicals bullshit, but it tastes sweet and it tastes good. That's the reason why you're right. We shouldn't consider taste as the main objective, as the main criteria of how we judge a product, because that's not what we're doing. This is not a fucking steak. It's not a pizza. This is actually a supplement that's specifically pre-workout. And you know what, since we're talking about it, you know, some people say, well, there is no, and I heard it for a fact, some people say there is no difference between isolate and concentrate. No, there is a huge fucking difference. There is a huge difference. Why? Because isolate is 90% plus protein, why concentrate can be fucking 30% garbage. There is a reason why they don't specify that it's, I mean, if it's a whey protein concentrate 80%, clearly it's a good product. It's almost as good as the isolate, actually. I mean, it's pretty much the same shit. But, you know, people that make 80% concentrate, they're actually proud of it. They usually put it on a label that it's actually 80%. If the 80% is missing from the label, it's a guaranteed cheap shit that has only 20-30% of the amount that they actually claim on the label. So instead of your 20-25 grams of protein, what are you getting? 5, 7, and then you have fillers. And guess what? It actually tastes very good. Most of them taste very good. Right. They cost nothing to make. There's bold, huge fucking bold letters. It says whey. It doesn't say isolate. It doesn't say concentrate. It says whey. People know that whey is good. Most consumers don't know the difference between concentrate and isolate. If you reverse the label, then you can see contains concentrate, blah, 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 that nobody fucking pays attention to. But you just bought garbage. Yes, it says whey protein. It's garbage. I had somebody walking into the gym maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and he goes, I heard your protein is amazing. It's such a good protein, you know, high quality, blah, blah, blah. How much is it? And we sell, I think, 5 pound for $79, which is, you know, for a quality product. Standard. I'm not saying it's cheap. It's standard. Yeah, it's a standard price. He goes to me, wow, you're expensive. I bought 5 pounds for $25. Can you match that?
Oh, no.
You know, I'm like, but you know what his argument was? My shit tastes good. I'm like, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt. In fact, but truth is, Apollon protein does taste good. I mean, everybody who has tried it, it's actually notorious for its taste. And, you know, but it's more expensive because it's a high quality. And coming back to, you know, the flavor wars or whatever it is, where people, you know, have competitions who taste the best, I actually put it out there. We made even a post on Apollon Nutrition. And I challenged companies. I said, you know what? Why don't we go to a gym, not Apollon, we can go to any gym or any supplement store, and let's do a blind taste. I will gladly participate in a blind taste. I'm willing to put, you know, my product on the line, and we'll go to a store, you know, if 2 companies, 3 companies, 10 companies willing to come into a store or a gym, and we do a blind taste among, like, I don't know, 50, 100, or 1,000 people. And if you fucking beat me, I'll gladly shake your hand. I'll gladly, but at least it's going to be fair. And let's invite somebody and record it live. You know how many people agreed? None. 0. None. Nobody agreed to do that. But yet you have, this one is best tasting protein, and that one is best tasting protein. It's paid for. You're fooling the consumer. It's paid for. It's a fact. So, you know, does flavor matter?
Consumers don't understand.
Does flavor matter? I mean, yeah, sort of. But there is so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is generational, and we've talked about this, Rob, because just to share, I mean, we got most of our guys here on the call going into their 40s and a couple of people into their 40s. So when I started using supplements back 30 years ago, aging myself, it was basically ass-flavored and gasoline. That was it, you know? And again, like you guys, you know, to put this in a nutshell, if you're sitting there sipping on a fucking pre-workout for minutes upon minutes upon minutes, I mean, come on. The average person, 10, 15 seconds? I mean, give me a fucking break.
Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest with you. People won't like to hear this, but when I hear people say, hey, I love to sip on my pre-workout, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, I guarantee you don't do fucking shit in the gym. I guarantee you're a fucking bicep curl like three sets a day, fucking 6 times a week kind of person. So
in the squat rack,
you probably don't do jack shit when you go to the gym anyway. So
yeah, like, whatever. It's like, you know, you'll see them sit on a treadmill or on a bike, and they're like sipping a little pre-workout like it's a fucking cocktail and shit. Why don't you get a fucking umbrella and stick it through there, you Fruit Loop? You know, like, what the fuck are you doing? Just drink the shit, you know. And then I forgot which company it was. But they're like, oh, yeah, you got to take our pre-workout an hour to an hour and a half before you go to the gym.
Interesting.
An hour before you go to the gym, you got to take the fucking pre-workout. So basically what you're saying is the entire pre-workout is going to wear off before you step foot in the fucking gym.
Right.
who the hell runs your fucking company that you came up with this genius marketing plan? Take our pre-workout 2 days, take it the day before, so when you get the next day it kicks in. What, are you fucking stupid?
That's a pre-workout.
Hour and a half before you work out, take your pre-workout. So nothing is in your system anymore.
Right.
You know, that's awesome. Some geniuses running this shit. But
Rob, with all due respect, running a supplement company, do you feel the industry in general is missing innovation and creativity?
Oof.
And with all due respect to you being a supplement owner, but it's like, you know, everyone's coming out with new pre-workouts. Okay, so now I got 10 grams of citrulline instead of 8, so that makes me better. I've got 5 grams of beta-alanine, so my product's better. But there's no fucking game changers. I keep hearing that term, and it's just getting so fucking out of whack.
I think, you know what you just said about a lot of pre-workouts. Yeah, there is a pre-workout that's popping out almost on a daily basis. Innovation, yeah, there is very little innovation. You're absolutely right. Especially, you know, when it comes to new ingredients and stuff like that, something pops up and then, you know, we realize that it's not really a big deal. You know, basics still work. The innovation is definitely not where it's supposed to be, and we're definitely lacking because, I mean, we're still concentrating on, you know, the basics like citrulline, caffeine, and, you know, and stuff like that. Does it work? Yes, it does work. In terms of pre-workouts popping up left and right, they do, but that doesn't mean shit, because in reality, if you ask right now myself, if you ask Justin, if you ask Nick to name 10 good pre-workouts that we actually approve of, we're going to struggle. I assure you, we're going to struggle. It's going to be a struggle. And, you know, I mean, you can even tell me, like, take out Hooligan or whatever. We can take out Immortal so we're not biased. That's fine. We're going to struggle to recommend. And if we go average, you know, we don't talk about endurance like Kumite. We're not going to talk about the pump ingredients and stuff like that. We're just going to talk about average pre-workout that's going to give you a combination, because that's mostly what people are looking for. Combination of energy, you know, sustained energy that's going to last you for about 2-3 hours, not energy like, oh, I'm good for 45 minutes and then I go to sleep. You know, we're talking about 2-3 hours that can sustain an average, you know, people work out for an hour or two. So say 3 hours and without crash. So we need that. Then we need a good pump. So, you know, there are certain ingredients that will provide that pump. And then focus definitely helps, because it helps you to concentrate on what you're doing and gives you that razor sharp focus on the, you know, task at hand. So those are the 3 things that we're looking for. All 3 things have different ingredients. We don't even need anything innovative. Fuck that. I mean, it's nice if it happens, but it hasn't happened in the last God knows how many years that we were like, oh, holy shit, this is, you know, a real game changer. Yeah. Game changer didn't come around for a long time. At least I don't remember when was the last time we had a game changer. But if you had properly dosed in all of those 3 spectrums, energy, focus, pump, if you have properly dosed, you're going to have a combination of what, Justin, I would say 10 ingredients, 8 to 10 ingredients. That would be a nice combination. Yeah. You're definitely going to have a pre-workout that's going to be about, because just citrulline, you need what? 3 grams would be a minimum, so it's nice to have kind of 6, maybe even 8, but let's go with 6. That's a 6 gram already. And so between all the ingredients, you probably need something that's going to give you 15 to 20 grams per serving, a scoop. So I assure you, Justin, Nick, and myself, we will struggle. So I don't care how many supplement companies are out there. Part of them are proprietary blend, yep, which for me, automatic is a no. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. There is nobody who can convince me that proprietary blend is good. You know, I mean, I heard every fucking excuse possible. It just, I will not be convinced. Never. So part of them are proprietary blend. Part of them are just pure stems. They have nothing but stems. You know why they have stems? Because stems are cheap.
Cheap.
And people feel it.
They're very cheap, and exactly like Justin said, you're gonna feel it instantly. You're gonna feel like, oh shit, this shit works. Or there's gonna be beta-alanine of about 4 grams. I mean, it's not the cheapest ingredient, but nevertheless, all of a sudden you have this fucking tingling all over your body, and you're like, holy shit, I feel it. You feel nothing. It's just a fucking side effect of an ingredient. It doesn't do crap, you know. So you have those that's entering the market nonstop. And then you have people that are concentrating on flavor, and doesn't matter what's in a product, or you're going to have something that has a bit of a pump, but it's going to lack everything else. I saw a pre-workout that I'm looking at it like, oh, this is nice, this is nice, this is nice. Oh, 50 milligram of tyrosine. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, 50 milligram. Okay, that's it. That at that point, the pre-workout lost any credibility for me whatsoever. So I don't give a shit how many pre-workouts come out, because to be honest with you, most of them are shit. Most of them are declared that they're, game changers because somebody got paid to say that. Either it's an athlete or it's a review channel that is corrupted as fuck. So it doesn't really matter. They can.
Sorry, I had to cough there.
They can release shit every day, and they do. So, is it oversaturated? 100%. Should companies that release quality product be worried? Not really. I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess just for me, because every day I'm on Instagram, I get all these new people showing up, and yes, a lot of them are fully transparent, but they're all the fucking same. And it's like, what is that? My thing to them is, why buy from you? Not you, Nick, or not pointing at you guys, because you guys are different. But for the person that comes out with the same blend of betaine and citrulline, and they're all the same dosed, why do I buy from you versus this person? I'm getting the same thing on my feeds every fucking day.
Well, it's also too, right? You have the manufacturers that there's a couple problems that I see just being. I'm not a supplement company owner. I'm just more on the consumer end, but also knowing a lot of company owners that want to push the envelope when it comes to innovation. But I don't want to say they can't, but when you have all these new companies, so manufacturers have pre-made formulas, you can literally, by the time, Sean, if you want to start a supplement company, by the end of the show, you and I can have the ball rolling.
Yep.
We'll just cut like a $5,000 check and boom, we're done. And we don't even have to do anything. We can just, everything is done for us, right? So it's going to be the same labels because they don't want to change over their manufacturing processes. They'll give us a 144 unit run, which we won't make a fucking penny on because you can't scale anything like that. But then, so what do? You have to take out, our focus becomes Facebook ads, influencers, things like that, getting your product out there. The formula has become really, and what a lot of young companies that I see do, and this is fine, this is what they do, but you come in as a young kid and you're not thinking long-term, any sort of scalability or whatever, right? You're just like, okay, I can make this killer pre-workout for cheaper than everyone else. So now people as consumers are like, well, this should be the price of this. Whereas like companies with bigger resources and maybe they're sort of in this box now where it's like, okay, the formulas start to look like, so they just spend their money to outmarket, a lot of these up and coming, say, companies that are trying to do other things or whatever. They're just like, okay, we're just going to spend our money on ads because we're not going to change the formula process because no one's asking for it, first of all. But it's like, that's just become the game. It's become influencers. I think there's a little bit of pushback as people become more and more educated about it. At least that's what I see sometimes.
Yep.
I get reminders every day that it's not true also, because I get questions every day where I'm like, fuck, I thought we were making progress. But it's like, I just personally know a lot of companies that want to sort of do innovation, but I know they also don't see the benefit. They don't see the benefit of innovating because no one's going to give a shit once they make that innovation. People are still going to go to whatever's heavily marketed. So it's kind of, that's why I just keep pushing the education aspect of it, because that's really where we kind of can start. And if people know, okay, hey, we can start looking for, we can ask for more things. There are companies willing to push against these common things in the industry, but we have to be open to it as consumers to reward them for that.
I definitely agree with what Justin said, because in terms of we had a seminar last week at the gym, and something that Rich Gaspari said, I don't know, I think, Justin, you came later because that was in the beginning of the seminar, and somebody asked him a question about like the difference between how it used to be 20 years ago or 30 years ago whenever he started his company and how it is now. And he said something that it's really kind of like it hit me very hard, although it was not surprising. He said, you can have the best product on the market, literally the best product on the market. Like, we can take your label, your product, put it against all the labels, and you're going to come on top. However, that does not automatically mean you're going to be successful, because it's all about marketing. You can make a shitty product, be a hit, and be a multi-million-dollar company just by spending money on advertising, while you can have the greatest product in the world and it's gonna bomb because of, you know, either lack of funds behind it or lack of marketing, or you know, there are many other factors, but it comes to marketing. At the end of the day, it's very unfortunate, because when I was releasing my brand, I used to say, I have the best shit on the market, and that's all I need. And God, was I wrong? I'm willing to admit I was wrong. It doesn't work that way, because I think that 2 or 3 days ago, I was on social media and I stumbled across this influencer, a very hot girl who had, like, I don't know, a couple of million of followers, and she was promoting a certain brand. I don't even know what brand it was, but it was the most hysterical thing I have ever seen. And it had like fucking thousands of views, if not millions of views. And the way she was promoting it, it was hysterical. She goes, you know what? This protein is amazing protein. This is the best protein on the market, and you should be taking this. Why? Because it doesn't just have whey. She didn't even say isolated or concentrated. She just said whey. It doesn't just have whey. It has all sort of proteins in it. So it's the best because it has a blend of all sorts of proteins. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you going to fall for that shit? But guess what? People do.
Because she had a big rack and her ass was showing.
Exactly.
Probably.
Well, and that's just funny, like when you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, we have added BCAAs and we have added this and that to our protein." They make it sound like it's a good thing. It's like that's could be amino spiking there, buddy.
Grass fed. Don't forget grass fed, Justin.
Grass fed.
Yeah. It's just and you're right. And grass fed means absolutely nothing. It's just something that could be for someone's peace of mind, and that's cool. If you want to make grass fed, or if you want to make whatever flavor, just don't go out there and say this is healthier than whey protein because it's grass fed. Companies, right? This is America. This is the world, right? We should, entrepreneurship is a good thing. Starting your own business, man, it's great. You can give people jobs and stuff like that. But at the same time, you just can't start making shit up. That's where I get a problem. You can't start fucking lying to people. And like Robbie was just hitting on, if the influencer, I feel like it's not as successful as it was not too long ago. That's the sense I get from being in the position I'm in with the industry. It's like people are starting to get beaten down over ads and hearing the same thing sort of over and over again. So I'm hoping that there's some kind of shift there, but I don't know, man. I mean,
here's my take on it. It's like, you look at 10 years ago, you had a few brands, a very limited number of brands compared to you have now. So you take BSN and you take Flex Lewis. I know how much he got paid. These guys got paid really fucking well. Now, they were very loyal to that brand, and they stayed with that brand for years. So their quote unquote, what's the term I'm looking for? I don't know. We'll just say their push on a product and their promotion behind the product, it meant something because they literally were with this brand for years. So there was integrity behind them saying, whether they took it or not didn't fucking matter, but they pushed the same brand year after year after year. Then you get a million fucking companies that open up, and now Instagram is not a social media site. It's a job for half these people in this world now. So you have their influencers. You have Amazon influencers, social media influencers. Company I was with before, we used to pay these girls $150, $200 to take a picture like this, take a picture, post it in their story for 24 hours. $150, $200, just like that. You have, I
do 100 stories a day. I don't make shit.
You know how much fucking money you would make, Justin? So you take these people and you look at athletes now. They're not like Juan. Juan's been very loyal to you, Rob. He's been with you for years. Athletes don't do that anymore. It's company to company. Who's going to write me a bigger check this year? So you see athletes going from company A to company B to company C, and that's what they're doing. So they're the quote unquote integrity behind this is the best line, this is the best product, this is the best product. Every year, a different company makes the best product, and so it doesn't have the same respect from the viewer's standpoint. But you take a company like Redcon, where they push its impressions. They go for the 500 million impressions a month that you see. So it's become a marketing. So the supplement industry has become a marketing game. Who can market better? Take a very average product. Total War is a very average pre-workout for an average consumer like C4, but it's marketed to fucking hell and back. To hell and back. I know the budget they spend monthly. It is insane. I promise it's more than most companies sell per month. That's why people buy it. They see it. It's become a marketing game, and they'll use everybody from social media influencers on Instagram, YouTube, gamers, you name it. Wherever they can find a spot to put it, that's what they do. And you'll see the Redcon name everywhere, and that's how they become successful. It's not years back where it was athletes devoted to a brand. Now it's who's going to pay me, and that's what it's tough. When you have all these people that are promoting products, if they're not loyal to that brand, or as soon as they get fired, they delete everything that they have with that brand, which I think is crock shit, because these people paid you for years.
Right.
Like, these people paid you, and then you get fired, so you just delete everything. To me, it's disrespectful when you do shit like that. Like, these people literally paid you for years. Give them the respect of you got paid while you were doing this, keep it up there. But, you're going to have 10,000 more posts after. Nobody's going to see it anymore. But it's one of those things where the influencer market, it's not like it used to be, because now it's just about how many eyeballs can see it, And Core did it the smart way. Instead of paying, like they paid Christian Guzman and they paid Alani New, not Core, but the other guy that owns those companies. You're paying for the impressions with the people. Core, instead of having Julian Smith promote a line, they gave him ownership of a line, and now he owns part of the line. So now, instead of having to hope that it succeeds based on using his impressions, he's going to make it succeed because now he is part owner of the line, and he's going to benefit as the line does better. So they went about it, in my opinion, the smart way. It'll probably cost more profit in the long run, but they'll make more at the same respect. So, it's
there's
not
something to. There's something too, like, about what Nick's saying, that, and this is, I guess, is going to be a little bit like deeper, maybe philosophical point, but in general, the way we use social media, right? We're too influenced by people that don't know us and don't give a shit about us and literally could not care less, right? We don't have like those people in our lives because we don't pay attention. We're never in a room anymore, right? We're never at Apollon Gym shaking hands with people that really care and stuff like that. We're on social media where these people don't know who you are. So you're looking at these people to influence your life, right? That's just the wrong kind of approach just to begin with, because how do you know? They don't care about you, right? So, and the reason why I want to use this example is because I have gotten to know Robbie and Nick both, and I trust them both very much. I've invited them into the Supplement Snoop private group, the experts, to be an influence that when Nick launches his brand, when Nick relaunches his products, do you know how many people are going to be waiting for them because Nick has taken the time to talk to these people like human beings, like to answer their questions, that they're having some sort of issue in their life. And Nick doesn't say, I'll tell you my proof. He just talks to them, right? He's created an influence over people that genuinely reject that whole, I see something online and, oh, if I take what Brian Shaw has taken, I'm going to be a powerlifter. Those people, and I say it all the time when we talk about not everything we do is for everyone. I get it. If that's how you feel, Supplement Snoop, that whole thing, probably not for you. If you want to think about it on the deeper level, this stuff goes in our bodies. It's for our health. People are trying to tweak their lives. They're trying to improve their lives in some aspects. So if you have company owners like Robbie that we've invited, Nick that we've invited, and this person has been in the trenches with you, talking to you, helping you through personal problems, whether it's looking for a pre-workout or whether it's looking for a protein, or whether it's, man, I'm having problems with my with my mom or my dad or my girlfriend, like Nick has talked to these, like that's real influence. Like when it comes to influencers, I have no fucking patience or no time for these people that put a fucking pre-workout on their ass and say, buy this. Like, fuck those people. The people that are real influencers are people like these guys that take their time and they're in the trenches with people that really are looking for help. Now, that's a harder thing to invest in up front for Nick. Nick takes time out of his day all the time. But when it comes down to his pre-workout launching or his products launching, there are people that would live and die for Nick's brand because of how much he's helped them. That's influence. That's what we want. That's what we're trying to create. And that's what I think will ultimately push back against all this other bullshit. So that's just my point of view on the whole thing. Anyway.
So Rob, since
maybe
you've
rush
had,
a little bit over there.
Rob, you've had seems like good success with having sponsored athletes. Without giving away the secret sauce to people that are watching this, how are you keeping people engaged? How do you keep your athletes, I guess, engaged and on board? Because again, as Nick said, sometimes it's like, all right, thanks, this guy's giving me more money. I'm out the road. It's not about the product or the brand. It's about the dollar.
Well, yeah, we have a few sponsored athletes and we have quite a few ambassadors. Right off the bat, I will say that not all of them are good.
Okay.
Not all of them are good, or not all of them used to be good because they're no longer with us. Yes, we let a few of them actually go. Obviously it's not easy. It's not easy at all. In fact, I was against getting a sponsor athlete for a very long time. And mainly the reason is because of, this is what Justin said, lack of credibility.
Yep.
Total lack of credibility. When you have, if I hire you to promote my brand, number one, I need you to use my products. I need to know that you actually believe in a product and you believe in a brand. I don't want you to be one of those athletes who are actually, sponsored by shitty companies. So obviously, they're not using their products, proclaiming them that they're the best out there. Yet they buying other people's shit because this is just not good. And we've seen that so many times. I've seen it at the gym because, obviously, the fact is, and I'm standing behind what I said, Apollon is a good brand. Apollon is a brand that an athlete can use leading up to a contest, to prepare for a show. So I see athletes coming to the gym sponsored by other companies, buying our products. We actually had people coming in, leaving their bags in the office and asking us, can you please put the product in a bag so nobody would see it? We did have that. We did have that. And then a few minutes later, he gets fucking container of the product that he endorses. And inside Apollon, he goes like, best shit on the market. And he doesn't fucking use it. He doesn't use it. And that's the main issue. Take, for example, and I don't mind talking about it. Where do you see Kai Green's pre-workout? I don't see it. I know he sells it overseas, those cheap markets. I don't see it here. Nobody buys it. I don't see Jay Cutler killing it with his brand either. I don't really see it. It's a fact. I don't see Phil Heath is killing it with his brand, and he won't. He probably going to sell it somewhere fucking in India or Bangladesh or something like that because it's a cheap shit to manufacture. And it's a fact. Does Phil Heath has a credibility? Well, number one, he's an amazing athlete. That goes without saying. He deserves the wins. And, I'm not a big fan of the guy as a person, but when it comes to him being an athlete, he's definitely one of the best, we've had ever. He's right up there with one of the best of all times. However, Phil Heath was with Muscle Tech. He was getting paid very, very, very well. Very well. What was he saying? He was saying that Muscle Tech, I understand that's his job, so it's not me judging. This is more of an observation and facts rather than me judging an athlete or somebody who works for a company and makes a living. So I'm not judging. However, this is how it looks to the consumer. We have an incredible human species who has incredible genetics. Phil Heath probably can lift 5-pound dumbbells and he would still get huge. Yep. So we have obviously enhanced athlete, because let's face it, it's a fact. It's part of the game, who is not only enhanced but also genetically superior to pretty much 99% of the population, promoting Muscle Tech, which is not to talk shit about the company, but let's go with being politically correct and what Justin said. It's an entry level. Let's call it entry level. So you have an elite athlete promoting entry level, getting paid top dollar. And then when MuscleTech decided that they no longer want to go with the bodybuilders, and all the bodybuilders, they used to have Jay Cutler, they used to have Dexter Jackson, Lee Priest, they had Phil Heath, they had everybody, Branch Warren. All of a sudden, they went completely different route, no more bodybuilders. Phil Heath goes, and all of a sudden he has his own brand called Gifted Nutrition. So, created by Phil Heath, formulas by Phil Heath. This is the best product on the market. This is the best brand on the market, owned by Phil Heath. Not only that, Phil Heath has a nickname, The Gift. The brand is called Gifted Nutrition. Few years later, Gifted Nutrition fires Phil Heath. How the fuck can I be fired from Apollon Nutrition? How is it even possible? How does it fucking make sense that I'm going to be fired? Who the fuck can fire me? How can I be fired from my own company? There is only one explanation. It was never my company.
Yep.
I'm just a handsome face of the company. That's all I am. But the fact is, so now he was saying that MuscleTech is the greatest of all time, and that's the only thing that he used. Then he has his own brand, which, surprise, it's not his. So he lied again. And then he's employed by Ultimate Nutrition. And guess what? All the ads are saying, I've been taking Ultimate Nutrition throughout my career.
Right.
And he gets fired from Ultimate Nutrition. He gets fired from Ultimate Nutrition, and his last 2 or 3 wins, he's the first Mr. Olympia that did not have sponsorship. How can you not have sponsorship when you are Phil Heath? Phil Heath does not have sponsorship. Now, ask the question why, and the answer is simple. Because he has no fucking credibility. Why would the company pay top dollar to a Mr. Olympia? We're talking $100,000, $200,000, fly him all over the world and stuff like that. When people are not stupid. You can fool everybody once or twice, but sooner or later it catches up. And yes, people will trust Nick over Phil Heath. Why? Because Nick is real. Maybe he's not as handsome as Phil Heath. No offense. But But the fact is, Nick is trusted. Nick is trusted because you know what? He's not going to have a problem saying that Apollon products are good. Just like he's not going to have, even though he's a supplement company owner. And I'll tell you, knowing him, I don't know what the fuck he's releasing in January or February, whenever he's going to come up with. I can assure you, and mark my word, you can quote me, you can take this to the bank. When he releases his product, I know that I'm going to comment and I'm going to endorse it. And I'm going to say it's a good product. Why? Because it's Nick. Because I trust him. And I know he's not going to release shit. And I'm not going to be a hater. Yes, he's technically my competitor. But why would I lie? Because he's been nothing but fucking supporting me throughout this whole thing. When people were talking shit about me, this is the guy who came to my defense. I mean, he's technically my competitor. He should hate me. And he should not be not having my back. That should not be on his agenda.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will support him. I will support him because he's real and because, he has credibility. He's knowledgeable when it comes, Nick will attest to it. How many times did I fucking text him actually picking his brain and asking for his opinion? Many times. Am I ashamed of it? Absolutely not. I think he's actually more knowledgeable than I am. I think he's very experienced and I think he's very good at what he does. But that just shows that somebody not as good looking as Phil Heath, I keep repeating it, is more credible.
You gotta keep him, gotta keep it leveled out here.
I'm just keeping him in his place.
Right, Nick's head's not gonna fit on his screen after too long.
But if you notice though, his head was blowing up a little bit, and you're like, "That's not the pretty," and it started going down again. It's going up and down.
Yeah. But the fact is, he's credible, and Justin is 100% right because he's been educating the consumer. And when he releases his product, he's not gonna go. My product is the best on the market. You don't need to buy anything else, and it's a pre-workout for everybody. And I think by just doing that, that's when he's gonna have that following. Will he have a multi-million, billion-dollar company? Hell no. I've been asked the same question yesterday. If Apollon's gonna be $100 million company, and I said absolutely not. And that's not my goal. I know my place. I know where I am. I know that we've been growing steadily for the past 4 years, but that's based on credibility. That's based on sticking to our guns and doing what we are good at and not trying to change the face of the company or trying to compete with somebody. Every time I release a new pre-workout or upgrade it or something like that, the only competitor I have in mind is myself. That's it. And in terms of athletes, to go back to that, they're getting paid. That's a fact. Not all our athletes getting paid. In fact, I think only one or two. Some of them just get products and that's it. But the problem is with athletes, we were negotiating with one athlete where he came basically and he said, well, I want $7,000. He wants $7,000 a month. My question to him was, okay,
Not bad.
$7,000. If we pay you $7,000, that means the sales just from you have to be at least double that amount just to cover your salary. So if you're getting 7,000 and plus on top of it, we have to give you free product because you're obviously not going to pay. So we have to give you free product. We have to give you clothes. We have to pay for your video shoots. We have to pay for your photo shoots. We have to pay for one or two of your shows that you're doing in terms of a flight accommodation. So you're costing us on average, I don't know, say $10,000 a month. If you want 8 to 10,000, that's the cost. 20,000, give or take, just to support you a month. That's $240,000 just to be able to pay your salary. $240,000. Now I'm the owner of the company. We pay you. You are actually our employee. Doesn't it make sense that the company should be making more than the athlete? I mean, that's a given because every employer should be getting paid more than he pays the athlete. So let's say we getting paid, we making just as much as he makes. That's $500,000 a year to justify bringing him on board as a sponsor athlete. So my question was to him, can you guarantee or assure us that there's going to be $40,000 to $50,000 a month sales because we bring you to the team? Do you know what the answer was? Hey, bro, that's not my problem.
No, actually, it's your job. Yeah.
That's not your problem. So what the fuck? I mean, so we have to sign you to a contract to 1, 2, 3 years, and you're gonna be endorsing a good product. It's not that hard to endorse good product. I think it's much harder to endorse some shitty proprietary blend and say that that's the best shit on the market because obviously you're lying. So you're endorsing a good product. You want to get paid top dollar, and just because you won one show or something like that. So loyalty goes a long way, and I think it's not that hard to post on social media. And in fact, when I talk to the athletes that we have, I know that we have, 10 products or whatever, and God knows how many flavors. I don't like all our products. I don't use all our products. I myself, as the owner of the company, I don't use everything we make. I think we make everything good, but I don't need everything. I don't use everything. And I do have my own personal favorite flavors. I don't say that I love everything that we do. I have my own personal flavors. In fact, when we're coming up with a flavor, I take it around the gym and give it to 50 to 100 people to try because my opinion doesn't really matter. It's still a business. It's their opinion that matters. And sometimes they select a flavor. I'm like, really, this? But they like it. They like it, so that's good with me. I don't have a problem with that. So if you are our athlete and you're not using, why would Juan Morel, who is a bodybuilder, use an endurance pre-workout? Makes no sense. On the other hand, why would a fighter use Hooligan that's going to give him a tremendous pump, and then when he's training and he's clinching, his arms are like pumping crazy, and he actually is going to get tired and exhausted after about 2 rounds? Clearly, Hooligan is not a pre-workout for him. I hate Hooligan when I train martial arts. I think it's a horrible pre-workout for that because, the moment I grab somebody, my arms get tired within 3 minutes. I'm exhausted. So as long as you're honest, I think that that's the type of athlete that I want. I want an athlete who's going to say, you know what, Apollon has 3 flavors of a certain pre-workout or whatever. My favorite is this one. This is the one I use. I don't have a problem that I have somebody like Juan, or we have an athlete, his name is Brian Tranello. They saying, we don't really like stems, so we use bare knuckle because it's a non-stem Hooligan. Do I have a problem with that? Absolutely not, because they honest. I don't want them to say, oh, Apollon is the greatest. Everything Apollon makes is great. I use every single product, every single flavor. It would be a lie. So I think, from my personal belief, it should be based on honesty.
That's
So
funny,
Rob,
man.
talking about your products, I did have someone send in a question. It said if Rob can only sell one product from your line, what would it be?
Shit.
Or maybe you could just defer to what the best seller is. Maybe that's an easier question. When you look at the whole line, what's the best seller?
I still think it's between Hooligan and Protein. Our Protein is very, very, very popular. But over time, we released a couple of months ago, and it's been really, really getting popular. So I think it's right there climbing up. Oh, there you go. So I would still say that we are known for Hooligan the most.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
I think that's
sure you send him a bill for $150 for that little flash right there.
Right. And well, you know what's funny, man, and actually, like, you know, as we were talking about the influencer stuff, and let's talk about integrity and honesty and the odd things that happen in this industry. There's been a lot of companies that have approached us about, okay, can we do some sort of collaboration? And that's cool. I get it. It's not really our place, but there's been several that actually wanted to pay me to do an exclusive flavor of like their product. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, how much of a fucking sellout? If I've been talking shit about flavors and stuff like that every day, basically, and I'm like, oh, check out the new supplement Snoop flavor of whatever
Snoop Sauce. It's Snoop
like,
Sauce.
Hey, man, I mean, they're willing to pay me for it, but I'm like, are you like, I could not. How could I get in front of people and say, check out this new flavor? Because flavor is all that matters, guys. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, but people, they don't care. They're like, here, we'll just write you a check if it means some sort of sales. It's like, it goes back to that whole, some of these guys, I see their business decisions they make. I'm like, do you guys, exactly what Robbie said. So if a athlete says, I want $7,000 a month. Well, it's not $7,000 a month, right? It's
Exactly.
Then there's all this other stuff. And then am I getting that money back is the point. That's the business 101 thing where it's like, well, I want to make more than I'm spending or else I'm fucked. But I see it all the time where I'm like, are you guys, like, I see these decisions that companies make and I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, this is never going to last. Like, you can pretend on Instagram all you want, but this is why like 98% of supplement companies fail after a couple of years, because you're so caught up in this ridiculous fantasy up front that you have no concern over the long-term health of your company. And who wouldn't want to, as an influencer, who doesn't want to get paid to go to the gym? I would love to get paid to just go fucking hang out at the gym all day long. It's like what I love to do the most, go to the gym, right? So everybody wants to do that, right? So, but now you have millions of people that try to do that on a day-to-day basis, and it's like, it's the most bizarre shit I've ever seen in my life. Everyone thinks that they can get paid to go to the gym, and everyone wants to do it.
And we had, you know, it's like if you look at Redcon, they have with other athletes, they have money to burn. So it's
exactly.
It's built in. Like the money they spend on their 8 million athletes, it's money to burn. They're doing it for it's a very specific impressions reason they're doing it. The other company I used to work for before, we had a guy that was a top 5 Olympia competitor. Top 5 Olympia competitor. And this guy, we weren't paying him a lot of money. And he could barely, with his sales, could barely cover his bill. And it wasn't $10,000 a month. It wasn't even close to that. And he could barely cover his bills. And then we had an athlete approach us that he had been out of the scene for a while. His dad is very popular. And he approached us, and mind you, this guy hasn't competed in a long time. He goes, I need a sponsor. Okay. What kind of number are you talking? $10,000 a month. What? Run that by me again. $10,000 a month. So you have
good living
on stage, and we have a top 5 competitor on the Olympia stage right now, who just came in second place in the Arnold, and we're not paying him close to that. And you want $10,000 a month? Huh?
Me too.
Huh?
But not going to happen.
I want $10,000 a month, for crying out loud. Are you fucking kidding me? $10,000 a month. But that's, you know, and we get it. I mean, that's back in the day. That's how they were bred. You know, as far as the big companies, they paid these huge contracts to these guys because they had money to burn. Because there was 10 of them There was 10 companies that really mattered. You know,
Yeah.
there aren't that many Redcons out there anymore that are spending $100,000 a month just for athletes. Like they don't exist really too much anymore. Even Muscle Tech, they fired everybody they fucking had on their sponsorship list. You know,
And there is a reason for that.
Yeah.
There is a reason why they fired, because it was
It don't work.
it
don't
didn't work.
You know, I think Monster sponsors more bodybuilders than fucking Muscle Tech does. They make an energy drink.
Because they have money to burn. Exactly.
They have money to burn, and
well, it's like we went to the Olympia and seeing the very few companies that actually had booze. It makes sense. It was Blackstone. It was Redcon. They got money to burn, man. They have a budget that they have to hit, and they have to spend that money. I mean, you don't want to pay fucking taxes on all this money that you're making. Like this is America, man. You spend that money, but
you make too much money. You go buy a fucking gym and put your name on it, so you can write it off on your taxes. You know,
exactly. Like there's plenty of places to spend money in this industry. There's plenty of people to give money to. If
I lower my taxes this year, I'm gonna buy a gym and lose a lot of money. Perfect.
That is genius. That's genius.
I was like, that was like the greatest decision ever.
It's like, well, we made way too much money this year, guys. What are we going to do? Let's sink millions into this because I don't want to pay taxes on that shit. So
it's strategic business planning 101.
Right.
Not too many people are in that boat where it's like, well, fuck,
right.
We made too much money. Go hire 5 more athletes. Pay them $25,000 a month each. You don't have
well, how many companies do you see too, Nick? Like we see all these new supplement companies. There's new ones every day, and right away they want to have ambassadors and sponsor athletes. Like, dude, nobody even knows who the fuck who you are. Like, how do you have ambassadors and sponsored athletes? Exactly what Robbie was saying. He goes, we want people that really believe in our brand, right? But I see these, we're doing ambassador searches, and I'm like, these people don't know who you are, but they're going to be your ambassadors. How could you rely on these people to be? I love ambassador. I love the ambassador idea. I think who better to spread the word about your product? It's better than taking out Facebook ads. You have people that if they really believe in your brand, let them go do their thing, man, and reward them for it. I'm all for it. But when you just let any person that walks through the door and you're going to write them a check, it's like Robbie said, and they're going to be going and buying products from other brands and stuff like that.
Well, you know what? We get sometimes, actually, I would say on a regular basis, we get messages from people. I love your product. They pretty much like almost identical. So they say, I love your products. Your products are amazing. Been using your products for a while. I would like to join the team. What can I do? More often I will click on a profile just to check out, who the person is, what the following is, what the person looks like, the basics. And I'll click, and then it says, profile, Blackstone athlete.
Yeah.
Insane Labs athlete. Like, don't you think that at least you should end that relationship before you contact us and blow smoke up our asses saying that we have the best product and you've been using ours? Because to me, that shows, of course I have my opinion about Blackstone, I have my opinion about Insane Labs, but doesn't matter what it is. The way I look at it, that's another supplement company, and I see that you are not a loyal person. You obviously don't have loyalty. And if you're doing that to them, how am I safe? How do I know you're not going to do the same to me? Because some shitty company is going to offer you, a free container of protein or something like that. So that makes a huge difference. And you're right. Not everybody should be welcomed with open arms. I see Insane Labs is giving the ambassadors 50% discount, 50 or 60 to purchase products. I mean, they're still making a killing because those products they're not worth anything. They cost nothing to make. So when somebody gives you, you're going to be our ambassador, and people are like, that's cool, so I can get your products for 50% off. Yeah, you're buying a pre-workout for what, for $25? It's still like $500 or $600% profit. They're still making money off of you, and your dumbass actually is going around and spreading the word that this is the best shit on the market, First Form, First Form, anyone can be with First Form. Anyone can be with Insane Labs. They literally will take anyone, And I see then people are posting, First Form is the best on the market. Insane Labs is the best on the market. You don't even know what's inside the product. You're not knowledgeable enough. You don't know anything. They took you. You think you're special? You're not special. they take anyone. They take absolutely anyone. When I was, there was a period when I was against even getting a bodybuilder to sponsor. I got to talk to Steve Weinberger at Bev's gym, and he said to me he recommended Juan Morel. So he recommended one, and I remember saying, like, you know what, I'm not interested. I'm not interested, I said, because these guys, they just want to get paid, and they don't do shit. So he goes to me, no, just talk to him, it's not going to hurt. He's a good guy, and that's it. I've met Juan a few times, but I can't really say that we're friends or anything like that. I didn't know him personally. So Juan and I kind of linked up, and we got on a call. He was actually, because he's doing well financially. He has a lot of clients. He's doing well for himself. So he was not really actively looking for a sponsor, and I was not looking to sponsor anyone either, because again, we're not exactly a multi-million-dollar company. So, I don't want to just piss the money away. So we got to talk, and it just happens to be that we were sponsoring an NPC event in New Jersey, and he was the guest poser. I was next week or 2 weeks from our conversation. So I said to him, you know what? I'm just going to bring you some of our products to try, and then we'll talk. So we agreed that we're going to get together at the show, and that's it. So we met at the show. We talked briefly, gave him, I think, our protein, pre-workout, a bunch of our products. He took it with him. I think maybe 3 or 4 days later, he calls me up and he goes, give me a code. And I'm like, what code? A discount code. I'm like, but hold on a second. Why would I give you a discount code? You're not our athlete. We didn't talk about anything, nothing like that. Why would I give you a code? Give me a code because I want my athletes to use your products, so they would be getting ready for shows using that your product. I'm like, okay, it makes no sense. You're not our athlete. Why would you recommend our product without being our athlete? He goes to me, well, I don't know whether we're going to be working together or not, but these are the type of products that I want my athletes to use. This is high quality. I like it. I was like, this guy is out of his fucking mind, So I remember I called Carolina, who is basically our VP, and she's also a logistics manager. And I said to her, you know what? Give him a code. She gave him a code. I think same night we were getting orders using that code. People were ordering. So this is a guy who was not a sponsored athlete. In fact, we didn't even offer him anything. I mean, we could have offered him maybe $200 or something like that. We didn't. And I think we signed the contract maybe a week later. So, but that shows something. Like I said, I don't know what the future holds. People go through changes and stuff like that. But the one's been with us now for 2 years or something. But this is the type of athlete. And this is the type of relationship that you want. You want somebody who actually believes in your product. You want somebody who actually uses your product. I can walk into Bear Francis Powerhouse Gym at any point. He's not going to know that I'm there. And I know that a water jug or something like that is going to be right next to him. He's probably going to be wearing our shirt at least twice a week. He does. So that's the type of athlete that you want. Yeah, I think so, but you want somebody who's going to believe in your product and is going to represent with pride rather than just get a paycheck and then you're not going to hear from him.
Yep.
It's something funny, actually. Speaking of Carolina, and now that I see Snoop on Justin's hoodie, yesterday she goes to me, she says, so who do you have a podcast with? She says, I know about the Snoop Dogg, but I don't know about the other two.
Yeah, I was going to say that was when I got to meet her.
Well, did you tell Rob that because you had Pro Sups and DJ Khaled, and then we have EVL and Steve Aoki, so maybe you were going to do something with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Snoop Suppy Sup.
So it's, go ahead,
we used to get with the ambassadors. My loyal customers, they used to hit me up. I want to be an ambassador. And I'm like, not yet. Let everything unfold first before we start worrying about ambassadors and all this other bullshit. But then I used to get, like Rob would say, you get the emails from people in the DMs where these guys will hit you up. Oh man, I love your products. First off, I can easily check.
I get that. I get that.
Tried my shit.
I don't have company. I don't make supplements, and I get that shit all the time. So that just tells you. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like, oh, you got the greatest products. I love it. You know, I'd love to get some free samples. I can get them into the gym and the store by me, and you go to
reviewers do that to me all the time.
Dash labs. Go fuck yourself with your deer antler shit. And you know, like you sit here, like how are you gonna promote another company and then slide into my DMs like you trying to get some of my hot pussy and shit, and talking about you want to get my fucking because they're so good, and you're gonna get them.
Well, it's true.
How many DMs are you sliding into, you fucking sup perv? You know, shit drives me insane. Like, you're literally promoting other companies. And I had a friend of mine. He was taking another company's product, and he would have to triple scoop it. And he's like, nothing works for me. Nothing works for me. He's like, I'm triple scooping this shit. So we gave him some Immortal, and he's like, man, this is the greatest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. And if you go to his profile, he loves talking about this fucked up that he promotes. And I'm like, if only people could see your DMs, bro.
Right.
Like, people could see your DMs to me and our conversations versus what you're actually putting out there. You know, there's the fucking loyalty. You know,
Like, I think
we had
Tim.
one guy. We had one guy that we noticed. He actually became our ambassador for like a split second, and in his profile, it was our company, Apollon Nutrition, and there was another company. There are two companies that he was ambassador of.
Hey guys, we're going to wrap episode 2 right at this point. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow on whatever channel, social media you are following us on, and stay tuned for episode 3.